Good morning. It's early, hence the no makeup. I just got the kids out the door and I want home fries. And I've spent the past week perfecting diner home fries because up until now, when I made home fries at home, it was either like a frozen patty that I put into the oven for 20 minutes, or I would just dice up actual potatoes and fry them, and those are okay, but they weren't like what I would get at the corner diner. And I really wanted to recreate that. And I didn't really know where to start, so I looked up a ton of recipes, and none of them ended up being exactly what I was looking for, but I did find one kernel of really, really important information in many of the recipes. The secret to diner home fries seems to be that diners use last night's baked potatoes to make their home fries, at least the kind that I like. So that's where I started. I started with baked potatoes, and the rest was really, really easy. This is such a simple dish, really easy to put together, and let me show you how. Now these two particular potatoes, these were the last two potatoes of the bag, so they were pretty heavily covered with eyes and brown spots. So they're very trimmed, but that's fine. This is actually a great use for those potatoes when they wouldn't look good as baked potatoes. So I've scrubbed them and trimmed them, and I've stabbed them all over with the tip of the knife, and now we're going to put them in the microwave. Again, if you have leftover baked potatoes, then you don't have to do this step, but I don't. So let's see, let's do, for two potatoes, let's do 5 minutes on high. And then when that's done, we're going to flip them over, and we're going to do another 5 minutes on high. If you're doing one potato, I think I usually do 3 minutes, flip it, and then 2 minutes. For more than two, I have no idea. I've never done more than two. All right, now while the potatoes are cooking, I'm going to slice up my onion, and how much onion you use is really a matter of preference. I like mine pretty oniony, my family not so much, but I'm making this one for me. So for two potatoes, I think I'm going to use, let's see, probably about just a little more than half of a small onion. Now, I'm going to get our flame on about medium to medium high, and I like to put about, I don't know, a tablespoon and a half of butter per potato, which means that I'm going to want about 3 tablespoons of butter for this. Alright, now I'm going to add the onion. I'm going to break it up a little bit. And this is the only part of this recipe that might be a little bit controversial. Not most, but many diners that I go to in New York, they put pepper in their home fries, red or green bell pepper. I don't like that, so I leave it out of mine. But if you like bell pepper, this is where you would be adding it, right here. So I'm going to stir this around. You want to cook it for just a few minutes. You want the onions to get soft. Alright, while the onion's cooking, I'm going to slice up the microwave potatoes. And they're still very hot, so I'm holding them with a fork. Alrighty, in the time that it will take you to slice the potatoes, your onions should pretty much be ready. Add my potatoes. And you don't want to be too rough with them. You don't want to turn it into fried mashed potatoes. You do want to still see the slices. I'm going to give it a stir, try to get some butter on all of the potatoes. And then I'm going to let them sit for a couple of minutes so that I can get one side nice and brown. Alright, after a few minutes, you can turn them a bit. That is getting nice and brown. As Carla Hall says, there is flavor in the brown. Yummy. You want to try to get most of them turned over just so that you're not cooking the same side twice, but it's kind of impossible to really make sure that you do that. But again, that's okay because they're already cooked. This is just to get them a little crispy. The beauty of this recipe. Hard to mess it up. Okay, once your potatoes are looking like home fries, they're looking as brown as you want them to be, and that's really just personal preference, you can add some salt and pepper. There's my pepper. There's my salt. It's a little kosher salt. Any kind of salt is fine. Salt is good. Love salt. Give it a last stir to mix that in. Oops. Onion overboard. And that's it. You are done. You have diner home fries without having to get dressed and leave your house. Enjoy.